because of people's work schedules, vacations, lifestyles, et cetera, and we've actually, again, we have information on existing properties very similar to this where there's been what they call one-week studies, where someone lives, they watch traffic, count traffic for 1 week. So the property's never fully occupied. Lincoln Property Company itself owns and manages over 100,000 apartments. So 1.8 is more than actually we factor in. We're comfortable at 1.7. We'll go as low as 1.6. So it's really trying to find a balance, not building too much parking. And again, for us, our own selfish interest, we need enough parking. We couldn't successfully operate a development like this. But Waltham is 80% leased, 75% occupied. People still moving in. And if you go up there at any time, pick a busy, what you might consider a busy time or a time a lot of people will be home, you're going to be shocked. And again, it's just people either work at night, day lifestyles, and you never get to the point where everyone's home at the same time. So there's ample parking.
So then there is no overflow per se?
No.
No.
But there's no assigned parking.
There's no assigned parking. The only assigned parking is garage parking, and if you want to pay for that, you get a garage space.
And this first I'm hearing of garages. Where would the garages be?
There's two types of garages. There are what we call tuck-under garages here, for example, in front of these buildings, free spaces on each side. And then these freestanding garages just scattered around the development, usually like 4 bays. And it's just absolutely amazing what people pay for park their cars.
Are they enclosed or open?
Those are enclosed. And it's really surprising.
Day like today, it's worth their weight in gold.
I think Dave wants to...
Joe's got one more question.
I want to just follow up to your question on parking. And just keep in mind that we would hold John's Lincoln properties to 1.8, even if they flip out and do more percentages of 1-bedrooms. So I would expect, correct?
Yeah.
You would still commit to the 1.8.
Yeah.
If you're flipping out another 10%.
Yeah. I actually think the 1.8 is the equivalent of the town of North Reading special permit process for parking. In other words, the town already allows you to go down either 1.8 or 1.6. I'll be conservative 1.8 by seeking a special permit from the ZBA. So I think we're right in that range where at least the planners are comfortable.
Okay, and if I may, my second question was, and this is, I just took this as a ballpark figure from the discussion. So there'd be approximately 140 2-bedroom apartments, roughly. Is that a fair estimate?
More than that. 360 approximately.
Yeah, I'm just using an approximate number. Now, I remember reading somewhere that that's only going to generate 23 children into the North Reading school system.
We've had, as part of the 40B application, we anticipated this issue would come up, so we hired a professional to do a report for us. And that report was submitted as part of the 40B application. The town in turn, I say the town, the subcommittee's hiring their own expert to review those figures. And that's approximately the number of children that our outside consultant is suggesting. I personally am suggesting it's going to be less than that, but
Less?
who listens to a developer? Less.
Really?
Again, I'm just.
I beg to differ with you, but I hope you're right.
That's why I get a third party, and your third party, and they can fight it out. But it's.
What you can do, Mr. Bino, is you can check with the school department. If you recall, a year and a half ago, I was active in trying to get a multifamily zone implemented in North Reading. And as part of that procedure, we did go to the school committee because we had very low figures, in fact, even lower than the ones that John's talking about. And we wanted to make sure that the school committee wasn't going to differ with us on town meeting floor. The school committee does have figures based upon Park Colony, Greenbrier, et cetera, and you'll find that they'll bear out that these figures are not low. In fact, they may be a little bit high in terms of the number of school children.
I would agree with you, Mr. Senior, except for the cost of housing in the town now. This is going to be, shall I say, more affordable to buy a two-bedroom unit than it is to buy a home in North Reading. So I hope you're right, but I don't see 23 children coming out of 140 units.
One of the concerns that have been raised is that people that are living in homes whose kids have moved on, they've grown up, might find some of these living quarters attractive. And they were thinking more in terms of the townhouses, and therefore sell their homes to prospective new members of the community that might have children, so that there's an indirect impact of the facility. So that was a concern.
But if they remove the townhouse aspect of it.
Right, that
would remove most
minimizes
of those,
that. That's
minimizes
another-
those arguments. And then again, but basically what it's saying is the 3 and 4 bedroom homes that are vacated, or 1 or 2 bedroom condo.
And we have a fiscal consultant addressing that issue, and I'm sure your consultant will address it.
Because even with 40S, whatever the state is implying, they're gonna help out.
Yeah.
No one trusts what that means, you know. There was an article in the Globe on Sunday about the towns that were up in arms over school building assistance.
The towns aren't getting enough money.
No.
It's as simple as that. The state's keeping too much of the local aid. It's another fight.
John, in terms of the process going forward, and I know we're meeting, as the subcommittee's meeting, you're working with Heidi. What are your plans associated with presentation that might be needed in town meeting?
I was probably
And
gonna.
to what level of detail?
I was going to probably recommend from our side that a gentleman named Greg Peterson give the presentation on our behalf for a couple reasons. One is I'm a developer, and my experience of being a developer in town meetings, you know, the dynamics often change when you're trying to make a pitch or something. I think Greg Peterson's background, that he was one of the authors of 40R. Your outside counsel, Kathleen McDonald, was also one of the authors. They sat on the same committee. So collectively, they are kind of the 40R experts. And I think they will be able to articulate to the town members why it's advantageous to endorse the 40S.
No, I wasn't talking about that part. I assumed that would be somebody else.
Okay.
Talking about the actual project. Because we're approving the 40R. People have a lot of questions associated with what is it that we're approving this for. So your presentation in terms of what it is you're trying to want to put in there, how is it going to look, and to what level are you going to be able to make a presentation?
Well, we can work with the town administrator and Heidi and yourself and others to come up with some type of strategy or game plan for the town meeting on what type of information, material, like whether it's material or material in a presentation, or exactly what dynamics of your town meetings are.
I guess a couple things on that. One, just so nobody gets blindsided at the last minute, any materials to be distributed at town meeting have to go to the town clerk beforehand for approval. But I guess beyond that and beyond getting up at town meeting, if folks see this for the first time and really learn the details for the first time at town meeting, I think that that's going to be too late. I think there's too many questions. You know, do you have any plan for a public relations campaign, a marketing
Well,
campaign?
we were using the 40B vehicle as basically the community process for people to get engaged about development, because again, 40R, from our standpoint, there's really no advantage. There's 2 advantages for a developer under 40R. One is anybody appealing the project has a higher threshold to achieve, and that is they have to post bonds. So that's helpful for any developer to have kind of that shield. The second thing is we're no longer a limited dividend corporation, but the reality in today's world that these 40B projects never go over the limited dividend cap anyways. So from the town's perspective, 40B, which again addresses the 2 original primary benefits, that's when capacity, and 2, inoculating the town from any more 40B. Those are the primary benefits and all the other good things that go along with redevelopment of abandoned property, but that aside from it. To me, 40 hours frosting on the cake. I don't know how you plan on presenting it to the town or what order, but we've always anticipated that we would continue with the 40B process. If we get close to town meeting and people are comfortable with the 40B application, and maybe the sales pitch at the town meeting will be easier, then we don't have a consensus on the 40B, but I anticipate that we'll be close to a consensus on the 40B project prior to town meeting. But we're willing to do whatever it takes. I will literally meet with anybody, any groups, any individuals. There's no limitation what we'll do to build a consensus and help you build a consensus with folks in town. Absolutely not, we'll do whatever it takes.
I think that's key.
I think that one of the important things is to be able to help people visualize what's going and how it's going to look. I know you had some slides or pictures of different buildings.
Yeah,
maybe it was on the website.
Well, we're starting the process. For example, at the subcommittee last meeting, someone asked, well, what's this thing actually going to look like if we're on Route 62? So we've got computer models taking back the topography of the existing trees, and we draw the buildings in. So we're starting to work on those visual presentations to get people more comfortable with what it's going to look like, the designs, things like that. Ultimately, it's what the strategy of those coordinating the town meeting is to get 66% of the vote, 67% of the vote.
Good questions?
I just think, through the subcommittee, I think we can work out either a presentation through the subcommittee that will be videotaped, that can be played over local cable to help educate the public a little bit more as to what's going on and what the whole project entails, and more of the details. As Mrs. Bailey pointed out, people's initial reaction when you talk to them about it is 400 units, what are you nuts? We're going to need 3 new schools, and a whole host of other comments that would be appropriate.
I was thinking along the lines
so
of, when we went through the police station,
Right.
I was able to get from the architect drawings to put into the PowerPoint presentations, things like that.
Yeah, we have it. Don't please excuse me. Again,
Yeah,
all
no,
of
I
you
understand.
started seeing that.
I've seen
this is kind of last minute. We have all of that high-tech materials available. We can again create anything needed to get the visual and the point across. There's no holding back. We'll do whatever it takes on that front.
Now, as far as off-site improvements and impacts, once all the details are in and everything's on the table for discussion and all the rest, we tend to be primarily dealing with Lincoln properties. From your standpoint, where's Mr. Gutierrez going to fit into this thing? What is his contribution going to be now as opposed to later?
Well, the Gutierrez company has, a limited stake in the property in the sense that they have the right to purchase it. They haven't purchased it yet. The way we basically have made our business arrangement is that we are sharing a lot of these costs, even though the Gutierrez company is not here tonight. We're sharing in permitting costs and all the environmental reports that we've done. What you usually don't see, we spent literally hundreds of thousands of dollars to date on environmental, geotech, architectural plans, studies, reports, and we continue to do that. The bulk of the off-site improvements for any office development that occurs on this side of the property is probably going to be signalization down on Interstate 93, and that is significant, very significant in terms of the cost for those improvements. The residential piece of the development does not trigger any signalization. It just doesn't create enough warrants, what they call warrants, to trigger a traffic signal.
I haven't read the
Right.
reports, but it doesn't trigger any warrants as far as...
It doesn't trigger anything. What we will be doing in anticipation of future signalization, for example, out here, is that Lincoln Properties will be doing the layout and turn lanes. We will be constructing those when we construct our project. We'll be putting the conduits for the traffic signals under the lights that was asked by the subcommittee to consider, and